like a head of Taco Bell lettuce, I am ready to come out of the gates firing with no warning whatsoever. Fucking
Disgusting.
Back to Folk. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Papelbon sets. At the belt. The pitch. Swing and a miss. It's over. The Red Sox have swept the Colorado Rockies. The Red Sox are the world champions of baseball for 2007.
It hasn't happened at Fenway Park for 95 years. The Red Sox are world champions.
Sale winds. He fires. Swing and a miss. Strike three. It's over. The Red Sox have won the world championship. The Boston Red Sox beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1. They win the World Series 4-1. And the Red Sox become the first team in the 21st century with 4 world championships. Can you believe it?
And welcome back to episode 10. We're hitting double digits. Episode 10 of the Fenway Faithful podcast. Shout out Trevor Story. Shout out Hunter Renfroe. Famous number 10s in the Boston Red Sox.
Shout out Drake May.
And shout out Drake Lee May.
Mm-hmm.
The most famous number 10 in New England sports.
The
Red Sox are blazing hot, and we're ready to talk some positive things about the Red Sox. It's been so long. We watched a 15-game win streak happen since the last time we recorded. We won 4 in Tampa Bay, or against Tampa Bay. We took 2 out of 3 versus Baltimore, 2 out of 3 versus Toronto, and as we're recording here on Wednesday night, we have so far a split with the Oakland Athletics. I'm going to keep calling them the Oakland Athletics because I think them in Sacramento is just weird, and I don't, Vegas, whatever. So fellas, the Red Sox have been hot. Have you guys been hot this week?
No, I have not. Thanks for asking.
Yep.
So I don't know if anybody could tell. Our last episode, I was a little bit under the weather. Couldn't really pin exactly what was going on. I got the Cyclospora. If you don't know what that is, look it up on Google. Check the headlines. I don't want to give too many details. We are a family-friendly podcast here. But it is the illness that has been in all the headlines. Potentially caused from some lettuce, or I think I got it from some spinach, but just a really, really crappy week, all things considered. Got over that in about 72 hours. As soon as I thought I got over it, I thought I was good on like Saturday, and I really wasn't eating much. And on Sunday, all of my roommates, all the fellas, went to go to all-you-can-eat sushi. So I thought I was all clear, and so I went to all-you-could-eat sushi. About 24 hours prior, my insides were completely turned inside out. And I thought that all-you-could-eat sushi was a good choice. And looking back on it, the amount of pain that I was in that night, just writhing out of all the decisions I've made in my now 24 years on Earth, that's top 5 worst. Top 5 worst in my entire life. Well,
Yeah, that... Sushi after that is a decision.
Not what I'd recommend.
Yeah, Stevie, did you make any decisions as bad as that in the past 2 weeks?
No decisions as bad as that, but I officially started my professional career as of last Monday. I'm in week 2 as we speak. Little different than being a UNH student, if that's a surprise out there. But yeah, but I don't know. It's new era, beginning of a new era. Really chill so far, and just kind of taking it all in and seeing where this takes us.
Nice. And we can't gloss over the fact that Cobb's now the oldest on the podcast. Unk.
The big 2-4.
Bro, tell you, when you're 23, live it up, because one day you guys are going to be 24 like me, and you're going to be
I only got a couple more months left. I don't really have much time. So.
Yep, you're going to look back on all the time that you wasted, and you're going to be filled with regret and sadness about your age 23 year of life. Don't take it for granted, fellas. That's all. Don't take it for granted.
Well, there's no regret and sadness when watching this Red Sox baseball team.
Not
they
anymore.
Went on 15. Yeah, not anymore. There used to be, but not anymore. They went on a 15-game win streak over this stretch. Now, we wanted to each come with our favorite moment from the win streak. So I'll start with you, Cobb. What is your favorite moment of the historic 15-game win streak?
Has to be. So many great moments during this win streak. I think my favorite part of these 15 games is that for the first time this season, when we got behind, this team actually fought back. And we saw that a lot, and we saw it a lot towards the back end of the streak when they started to get headlines and they started to get national attention. And that was the coolest thing, when all eyes were on them and they were able to come through and have a lot of comeback wins. And none was greater than win number 12. In the rain against Tampa Bay, down 6-4 in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Wilyer Abreu goes tank to right center field, gives us the lead, chucks the bat. Reminder, this was Wilyer Abreu's second straight 2-home run game. Like Wilyer Abreu does, for whatever reason, he has these stretches of being the best hitter on the planet for like 48 hours or 72 hours. This is not the first time we've seen it from him. But this time it was in an incredibly clutch moment. In the rain, had to be the coolest moment of the 15-game win streak. And at that time, and I mean still now, the Tampa Bay Rays leading the division, the big bad Rays, we've struggled with them for years. So to welcome them in right after the All-Star break, kick their ass, with Wilyer Abreu's home run as the catalyst of that, I mean, that was the best moment for me during this win streak.
All right, Stevie, what was your favorite moment?
Yeah, I mean, might be a little bit biased, but obviously seeing them take the first 2 Mets series with the 3 of us there was awesome.
Aww.
Of course. Not only that, but I mean, just hearing Citi Field erupt with "Let's Go Red Sox" chants was awesome. Especially the second game. We were right in that crowd. It was getting pretty loud. I mean, that was really awesome to see. And then I'd also, as an honorable mention, also talk about the Rays series. I'd say the last 5 or 6 years, whenever there's a Rays series coming up, I'm always dreading it. I'm like, it's some weird stuff always happens. Prior to this year, that's how I felt when the Patriots would play the Bills. I was never excited for that week. It was just like, they're a better team. They just win in these ridiculous ways that I can't even say. It's always what I dread. I'm never excited to play a series. So anytime we can take care of the Rays is always great, because really very few things bring me as much joy as that.
I mean, yeah, we kind of Tampa Bay Rays with how we were playing. There's that game where we had multiple bunts for runs. We really just Tampa Bay Rayed the Rays. It was awesome. My moment's different, so we're all coming here with like a different moment from the win streak.
I love it.
Mine's going to be game 1 of that Baltimore Orioles series. That game was kind of back and forth the whole game. Going into the 8th inning, 5-5, and Caleb Durbin hitting the piss out of that one. It's an important Red Sox season when I'm sitting alone in my room and I'm screaming at my TV because of something that just happened. And when I saw that ball go up, I got out of my seat, screamed, and that was awesome. And then for the Chang line drive catch to end the game too, I also got up and screamed. So that's when you know a Red Sox season is starting to become important. Games are starting to become important, and these games have been so exciting to watch. And like one of you said, this team all season has not been able to make the comeback. So for this win streak to have multiple times where they were down, were able to tie it, or able to take the lead with the big hit, it was just fucking electric. So that one really got me going. And it was closer because that was win 14.
That was number 14.
14.
Yep.
So we were getting to historic numbers at that point too, so it just made it even more fun to watch.
Yep, and that Baltimore series, there was a lot leading into that because they had won 7 or 8 in a row. They were the second hottest team in baseball. And that first game of the series, was that the first game of the series, that Durbin go-ahead home run?
It was.
Yep, because that was back and forth because they were playing like they were on fire as well, back and forth. Yep. What a great, great moment. And Caleb Durbin's kind of been the catalyst for this turnaround. I didn't think those words were going to come out of my mouth. I really didn't.
Yeah, so I just wanted to give out a couple more stats that I forgot to say at the beginning of the show. So first of all, the win streak, second longest in our history as a fucking team. The last time they went on a win streak like this, Ted Williams was on the team. So that's how long ago that was. We've now jumped to a 55-51 record. We were so below 500 just a couple episodes ago. We're now in the second wildcard spot. We're not even just in a playoff spot. We're in the second wildcard spot right now. We're a game and a half up on the Cleveland Guardians for that last spot, and then the Yankees are 7 up. They're the first wildcard spot. We're now third in the division, 7 games back. We have a .638 winning percentage since June 1st. That is number 1 in baseball. They are 18-4 in the month of July and have won 6 series in a row. So let's keep talking about this hot Red Sox team because we've had so many negative storylines going on throughout the season that we should just take a moment and really settle in and be like, wow, this is what they're doing is great. What do you guys have to say about this win streak? Kind of how they've been playing baseball since June 1st. Some of the best in baseball.
Can I be honest? It still hasn't really sunk in yet. Mm-hmm. We spent 3 months, rightfully, trashing this team. And then all of a sudden, in a 3 or 4 week span, we're in prime control of a playoff spot. I mean, it doesn't feel real yet. 3 episodes ago, we were talking, is this the worst Red Sox team of our lifetime? And now we're 4 games up in a playoff spot. I mean, it hasn't sunk in yet. It still doesn't feel real, to be completely honest.
And when we were looking at the standings, because we asked the question, could they turn it around just to be entertaining? I don't think we actually believed it. And I said, we are the second worst team in the AL at the time we recorded that episode. And they were 10 teams we had to pass to get into playoff positioning. And I said there was no way in hell that was ever going to happen. So honestly, it doesn't feel real whatsoever that they're now not even just in a spot. They're not even a couple games out of a wildcard spot or the last spot. They are in the second wildcard spot. But we've been saying this all year round, is that the AL was bad. Mm-hmm. So there was maybe a small chance this could have happened because the AL was so bad that it really didn't take that much to surpass some of these teams. 15-game win streak, never thought that was going to happen. But you saw some of the way they were playing baseball at the beginning of the season. The pitching was never the problem, and it was more the offense. And we kept saying, as long as you give us a league average offense, you're going to be a very good team. So once the offense just became league average, because you've seen there's been some spark in this offense the past month and a half, now we've been able to turn it around. So when you keep that great pitching that we had all season, pitching was never the issue, and you give us that league average offense, then, yeah, something like this happens, and I hope this continues the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you 100%. I mean, yeah, no one would say that pitching's been a problem at all this year, but all this offense has done the past few weeks has been league average. By no means are they top 5, I don't even know, top 10 in anything. They're in the 14 to 16 range. And at the beginning of the season, they were 29th. I remember Jared Carabas the other night said they had the 29th ranked offense in the league, and that's when we were seeing them lose games 2-0, 3-1, night after night, because once they dug themselves in a hole, which was 1 or 2 runs even in the second inning, it's impossible to come back from that. So that's the biggest thing, is that they've been able to win recently with an about middle-of-the-pack league offense. It's not like this went from 29 to second. I mean, this is a league average offense, and they can still win like this.
Now, none of us pronounced them dead. None of us said that the season's over. We were all very, very down. But the most surprising thing is that they did this run without any external additions. They did this run without Roman, without Crochet. We did it with Chang at short and Siegler at second. That was our middle infield for this run. That is the most surprising thing, because I didn't think it was out of the realm of possibility for them to go on a run and for them to get back into it, but I didn't think in any reality that they could do it with all the guys that are on the 40-man roster. I thought that was no way like in reality, and they did it. They did it without making any moves before.
It truly does take 40 guys sometimes to turn a season around, and I want to give me and Stevie some flowers here, because Cobb, you've been giving yourself flowers all season, predicting the Cedon Rafaela
Are you giving me flowers?
breakout.
That is so romantic. You're giving me flowers?
No, you've been giving yourself flowers. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm single. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. So you called you said you were all in on Rafaela. The second this team was bad, you were like, well, I called this. I wonder who said all this. But me and Stevie were talking so much at the beginning of the season about this team's depth and how depth on a team is good. And I don't remember exactly what you said, but you were pretty much crapping on teams that have depth are not actually good teams and stuff. But would you look at that? This team's depth is the reason for this turnaround. We could have lost Story and Meyer and Anthony and Crochet and just sulk and be like, oh, what? Well, it's a lost season. But then you got guys like IKF, Mickey Gasper, Anthony Siegler, Che Cheng, Sung Che Cheng, Nick Sogard, Jahmai Jones, dude. Jahmai Jones has been awesome.
Yes, he
pitching
has.
wise. Tyron Guerrero was a depth guy. He never started the year up on the team. Tyler Samaniego at the beginning of the year. Patrick Sandoval has come up and given you spot starts that have been pretty good. Eduardo Rivera, besides the 16th game of the win streak, was pretty solid for you. I just like everyone that comes up provides some type of spark and just provides something for this team, and it's been able to turn it around. It's been cool to see.
Stevie, you have anything to say on that before I rip Mike to shreds?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we were clowned for this for a very long time, but it's absolutely true. I mean, you can build, the perfect 25-man roster, but guess what? Once guys start going down, which is inevitable in a 162-game season, which is probably what I said word for word in episode 1 or 2, you need the other guys to carry the load. I mean, some of that has happened to the Mets. Guys went down. Bichette was out for a little bit. Semien, I know he's been awful, but he's had some time off. But many teams, I mean, guys go down. It's inevitable. It's a long year. So depth, can go a long way. When you start getting in the World Series realm, I mean, that's when it's more important to craft the best 25-man roster you can. But going into a season, you need to have depth. And even dating back to 2018, 2019, some better days for the Red Sox, I mean, that was a big weakness, which showed in 2019 that, their pitching especially was not strong enough. Their depth, they were just bringing these guys back, Eduardo Nunez, Steve Pearce, these random guys. Depth is important, and we're seeing it play out. So should it have been the thing we were most excited for heading into a season? Maybe not, and I can concede on that. But this team's success this year has been because of depth, and I don't think there's any other way to put it.
I also forgot a name. Jake fucking Bennett was not a part of our rotation at the start of the year, and he is probably been one of our best pitchers this year. So he was a depth guy coming into the season.
I agree. Version 2.0 of the Fenway Faithful shirts are going to say Jake fucking Bennett. Hopefully, Custom Ink lets us get away with that one. But, I mean, let's talk about the pitching depth. There was a small time at the beginning of the season where we questioned it. And if you'll remember, around week 2 or 3 of the season, must have been episode 2 or 3 that we recorded, that was the Johan Oviedo experiment. That was Garrett Crochet sucking. Even Sonny Gray had a couple of weak starts to start the season, and so did Ranger Suarez. So there was a small section in time where we all doubted the pitching. And we were proven wrong very, very quickly, and we all admitted that. This team has not been carried by their depth This team has been carried by their pitching, and we all know it. And the reason why the depth feels so good right now, it feels like these guys are playing out of their mind, is not because they're playing out of their mind. It's because the guys that they're replacing, the stars that we had plugged into the lineup day one, were so bad that guys like Andrew Monasterio and Anthony Siegler feel like superstars compared to what you were getting from Trevor Story and Marcelo Meyer. And dare I say it, even Roman Anthony, who was playing like a bum this season. So yeah, you can call it depth, but what I call it is that you're getting these underperforming stars out of the lineup. So I guess tomato, whichever way you want to look at it.
I mean, they're playing better than the Stars, so it is because of this depth that we're playing good. You're just saying it in a different way. You're just saying what we're saying in a completely different way.
The whole time you were saying that, you're just saying in fancier terms of depth.
Yeah, you're admitting that those Stars were playing terrible and that they were bums and that these guys have come up and played better. So it is because of this depth that we're playing better and our offense has become league average, and that's why we've had this turnaround.
You're right. There's two ways to look at it. I look at it as those guys in the beginning of the season were so bad. Those guys were terrible. And then when Siegler and Cheng come up, it's like just a breath of fresh air to have a competent major league player. And if you want to give yourself a pat on the back that our 26th guy on the lineup is a competent MLB player, then go for it. But when I see Trevor Story with a 500 OPS and then he's replaced by Cheng, who is like not a major league hitter, he's a great glove, don't get me wrong. What? Like that's
I'm not
supposed to be
saying that all these guys are Hall of Famers or All-Stars or whatever. I'm saying that they've come up and given us exactly what we needed, which was a league average offense, and it's given us a spark. Tony Siegler has given us a spark and energy that this team did not really have, minus Wilson Contreras at the beginning of the season, and it's just brought a whole new energy to this team because the whole time it's been complaining about Meyer and Anthony and how they're out partying and not caring about this team and stuff, and then you bring in these guys that are hardworking and show up every day, like Sogard and Siegler and Cheng, like they fucking care. So they give us what we want, and it gives us a breath of fresh air. Jesus Christ, a breath of fresh air. I'm not calling them Hall of Famers or whatever, but yes, the depth is one of the main pieces why we had this turnaround, and it was able to give us a league average offense. And that's exactly what this team needed. It didn't even need a top end of the league offense to do what we did. It needed a league average.
Even the rotation. I mean, Tolley didn't start the year up here. I mean, it was looking like at the beginning of the year, Crochet, Bayo, and Oviedo were going to be plugged into that rotation for the year. Those three guys are down. I mean, if we could go back to episode 1, and if we were told 2 or 3 weeks from now, all three of those guys are completely unusable, we'd be like, well, we're screwed.
The pitching depth, undeniably great, and you're not going to get any other answer other than that. It's these stars in the lineup that were playing so badly, so terribly, that now you got, don't get me wrong, Tony Siegel's, the way that he acts and the energy that he brings the team has been awesome. But, I mean, I think it's more about getting Marcelo Meyer's bat out of the lineup than putting Anthony Siegler's bat in the lineup. Does that make sense?
But even Stevie said it, that you look at the Mets, and they've had just as many injuries as we had. In any other season, you could look at these injuries, and it could completely derail the season, and you lose all these bats in your lineup and your top pitcher, and then all of a sudden the season's over. We aren't even talking about playoffs. Like the Mets, all those injuries happen, and the guys that are replacing them are bums. They're still one of the worst teams in the league, and they're probably going to sell everything at the deadline. So it could be worse. Now you see the Red Sox, all these injuries, they could sit back and complain and be like, well, season's over, all of our guys are injured. But no, they're calling up these guys that actually give us something more than what other teams are getting from their depth. I think our depth is up there with some of the best depth in the league.
The depth isn't why we're winning.
No, because the pitching and for this whole year has been good.
Pitching depth, yes, I'm with you. The pitching depth, undeniably great. We all agree on that. But
We've been getting pitching all season. It wasn't until that offense turned around was when we started winning games, because we were, like Stevie said too, losing games like 2-1. We were getting pitching all season. It's once the offense turned around for some of these guys that we're calling up, or some guys turning their seasons around, like a Durbin or a Monasterio even recently, like being crazy.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
If 4 or 5 of your starters go down in your starting lineup, you'd expect everyone to, in a normal time, you'd expect everyone, all the new guys to be hitting 200.
Hold on. Not if the 4 or 5 starters that get hurt are hitting 180. That's why you guys don't remember how bad those guys were.
Well,
it's a circular argument. You can look at it both ways. But at least Craig Breslow showed us that he wants to improve this offense. Almost like the depth isn't enough to win in October. But I didn't say that. Late Saturday night, we saw a big trade. We saw a huge trade. It's been the story of the last 48 hours, and a sad one at that. Late Saturday night, the Boston Red Sox traded 24-year-old left-handed starting pitcher Conley Early for 25-year-old infielder Curtis Mead from the Washington Nationals. Now, on Monday night, Curtis Mead's second at-bat with the Boston Red Sox, he is hit in the wrist, fractures his wrist, which with what appears to be an 8 to 12 week time frame. I believe he is either in Boston or on his way to Boston for further evaluation and to meet with some experts. Now, if you watch that in slow-mo, it's so frustrating because he's wearing a guard here and he's wearing a guard on the forearm, and he gets hit right in between the two. It's such a stroke of bad luck, and it's really, really devastating, and it's really frustrating for not only this team, but for Curtis Mead personally. I mean, he's having a breakout season. He's ready to make an impact, and this is how he makes his introduction. Just really sad, but I already know your guys' answers to this. But I want to know your initial reaction to the trade late Saturday night when you heard the news.
I'll go first. So, on paper, I think Curtis Mead could have been a great addition here. And I think we would have found some success with him. I mean, he was second. Coming in, he had 17 home runs, the second highest on the team. He had a swing built for Fenway. I think he could have done a lot of great things here. However, though, I don't really see, for Mead, was it really worth a 24-year-old starting pitcher with a 3 ERA who you trusted to put on the mound in the wild card last year? Like, that's where I'm just a little confused. It's you trusted him so much in the fall to win you one of your biggest games in recent Red Sox history. Mm-hmm. And then months later, he's in a 1-for-1 for a guy who's been DFA'd twice. That's just where I'm a little lost.
A lot of the arguments that are critical of the trade are the fact that Early has 4.5 years remaining of team control. Mm-hmm. It's not like Mead's a rental. Curtis Mead has 3.5 years remaining of team control. Now, the Curtis Mead story is that he really struggled for the first couple years in the major leagues. He came up as a 22-year-old with the Tampa Bay Rays and really bounced between the minors and the majors, bounced between a couple of different teams. As Stevie mentioned, was even DFA'd last fall. But he was a former top prospect, even cracked the top 35. So the talent I see is real. Mike, what did you think when you first heard the news?
Yeah, I hated it immediately, and I still hate it. And even after the injury, I hate it. I'm not saying Curtis Mead. I know I've joked around saying he's a bum because he already got hurt and all that, and I hated the trade. But yeah, sure, Curtis Mead could have played really well at Fenway. He's a righty power bat, which we needed, and he could have used that monster. It seems like you could put any right-handed power bat in Fenway, and he could have done well, like Hunter Renfroe we mentioned at the beginning of the episode. I just also think it was an extreme overpay for a guy like that. I mean, Connolly Early has been one of our best pitchers this year. I get we have so many lefties, young lefties, controllable lefties. You can't have all of them. I wasn't anti-trade Connolly Early. I was never anti-trade Connolly Early. Yeah, it hurts to trade Connolly Early. I thought he was awesome. He was one of our best pitchers. You trusted him in the wild card game like you did last year. And I've seen a lot more out of Connolly Early than I've seen out of Curtis Mead. You've said Curtis Mead was a failed prospect. He struggled for years. You've seen a little more than a half a season of success out of Curtis Mead, and I think, oh, you know who else had a little bit over a half a season of success up in the majors, and that's Tristan Cassis, and he did nothing. He's also a failed prospect. So I just think it was a massive overpay. And just like, yeah, Curtis Mead could be a great player, but I haven't seen it for long enough. It's only been this season, and you're giving up a guy who I've now seen a more than a season actually prove it and do good, and do it on the biggest stage in Yankee Stadium. It wasn't even just against the Yankees, it was in Yankee Stadium, and he pitched very well in that game. I just think it's because now there's so many bigger names we could have been going after, and you could have included Early in some of those trades. Because I was never anti-trade Early. It's just the one-for-one swap, I just feel like it was not fair value, and we've been seeing Early's name getting floated around in so many massive trades recently. You had the Ketel Marte trades at the beginning of the year, and they wanted either Early or Tolley. You've been seeing names get floated like a Bobby Witt or a C.J. Abrams or a Zach Neto, and his name's been floated in those. So for you to see that Connolly Early got traded for Curtis Mead, it's extremely disappointing. And it just kind of seems like Craig Breslow doesn't know how to read the market sometimes, because we've heard that criticism of him in the past, that he does not know how to read the market and he can only trade with the same like 4 guys. And when you see he traded a guy like Connolly Early for Curtis Mead, it really pisses me off.
Here's one thing I think you're underselling here. Mead was going to play second base for us.
I get that would have been one of the best second basemen in the market.
Curtis Mead, so defensively at third base this year, he's been a bit of a liability. In his minor league career and in his brief stints in the majors, he has played a serviceable second base. If Curtis Mead is playing second base with an 800-plus OPS as a right-handed hitter that is controllable for multiple years, the guy doesn't strike out, the guy walks a lot, his bat is a perfect profile. That versatility at his position, you don't get that in baseball. Those guys are rare to find. So where, yeah, an elite young not even elite, a very good young left-handed pitcher, yeah, that's hard to find. But so is a sweet swinging right-handed hitting second baseman.
Because I was bringing up the questions of, is this repeatable? Cobb, do you truly think he can repeat this year after year? Because we've only seen this for a half a season. Seems like you've done way more research than I have on Curtis Mead. I was a little too pissed off to do my research on Curtis Mead.
Yep.
But do you think this is like whenever he comes back from injury, or if we don't even see him till next year, is this a thing that you'll be able to see? Because sure, yeah, getting second baseman, it's hard to come by. Mm-hmm. So,
all right,
is he going to be able to do it?
Here's the caveat: is that mentally, this guy needs to be kind of impenetrable. He has struggled in the major leagues for about 3 seasons. He debuted in 2023. He struggled for 3 years and was even DFA'd last fall. He comes up with the Washington Nationals pretty much like playing with house money, like no expectations, small market team, and rakes for 3.5 months. Then he gets traded to a top market team, the Boston Red Sox. All eyes are on him, and he breaks his effing wrist in the first game. So all of this hinges on how strong he is up here to be able to overcome all of that in the Boston media. Now, let me talk about the bat profile, because all of that is second to how he's able to mentally, take all of this in. The bat is legit. The bat is real. If you have had the opportunity to watch any Curtis Mead highlights from this year, compare his swing to 2023 through 2025, his hands are in a completely different place. His hands are way separated from his body in 23 through 25, and in 2026, it's very clear from day one, his hands are close to his body. He's short to the ball. He doesn't strike out, like I had mentioned. The analytics back up this type of production as well, where for a guy, say what you will about Baseball Savant. Some people love it, some people hate it. For those that aren't aware, that is a very easily digestible way to view advanced baseball analytics. The analytics don't love Conley Early. They feel that his production is almost kind of fluky. Similar to a guy like Ceddanne Rafaela, who has been playing great this year, the analytics don't love him. They feel that a lot of his production has been fluky. Not with Curtis Mead. As a matter of fact, Curtis Mead is underperforming his analytics and his expected numbers. So his real world numbers, because I'm not an analytics guy, I like to pretend to be for a little bit for the sake of the argument, but in real life in 2026, Curtis Mead has a .500 slugging percentage, and he is on a 31 home run pace. Those are real baseball numbers. That is real impact in the middle of your lineup. That's the kind of guy that I feel that Curtis Mead is, if he can control between his ears. Because honestly, at this point, that's going to be kind of his biggest hurdle.
And I agree with you on the I need to see it. I don't. Stats are okay sometimes, but most of the time it's like I need to see it. And we saw that at a Connolly Early. So his statistics, his underlying statistics show that this might not be repeatable, but I've seen him shove for a year and a half, and that's the only thing I've seen is him pitch well. And I've also heard the argument of you look at the lefties, Tolley, Bennett, and Early, and he projects to be the worst out of all of them. I hate when people say the projections, because they're not always true. You see failed prospects all the time, but you also, beginning of the season, what did everyone project Jake Bennett to be? Like a fifth starter. Now look at him. Now everyone's like, oh, Jake Bennett could be like a 2-3. So that's why I don't get the projection argument, like, oh, Connor Early projects to be the worst out of all of them, because that can change at any moment, like it has with Jake Bennett. We didn't know what we had with Jake Bennett, and people were projecting a fifth starter, and now we've obviously seen we've got a lot more. But obviously the front office has also showed that they care more about Tolley and Bennett and think those two are going to be better than Connolly Early, and they proved that.
And projections can say anything. I mean, any computer out there by any front office can, you can punch in whatever you want and we'll say some ridiculous stuff. I mean, like the Kyle Harrison, Caleb Durbin trade. I mean, whatever Breslow's computer was telling him is that was a good trade. So, I mean, these can say whatever they want. I mean, this whole thing that they're projections, it's like, who knows? I mean, you can project, like anyone can make a projection. Like just saying we have to evaluate based on projection is just very subjective to me. And Willard kind of touched on it.
On the flip side, you guys are talking about not getting adequate value for Conley Early. So you guys are projecting his next 4.5 years. You guys are trying to predict that over the next 4.5 years, Conley Early is going to be something that he's currently not. Because a lot of the arguments are that we're not getting the value.
He currently has been for over a year.
I've seen more out of Connolly Early than I've seen out of Curtis Mead. That's what I'm saying. And I believe that Connolly Early would be able to do that. Continue to do that.
I agree.
That's all I was saying.
I mean, you're not wrong. Listen,
I mean,
look at it from it.
Do you truly believe? Do you not think this was an overpay?
Here's what I think.
Here's
Here's what I think. When I first saw the trade, I said, yeah, of course, this looks like an overpay. I'm not familiar with the name Curtis Mead, not a sexy name, not a name known around baseball. But when I began to dig into it, the fact that Curtis Mead's controllable for 3.5 years, he has positional versatility at a position that does not have a lot of offense around the league, I subscribe to the thinking that if the guy can rake and the guy can play, I'm not really that worried about what we gave up. We're trading a surplus, which is our left-handed pitching, and we are getting back what we need, right-handed power at a position of need. So if it's a slight overpay or a slight underpay or even an egregious overpay, if we get the guy that we expect him to be, does it really matter? I draw the analogy to the NFL draft, and to a lesser extent the NBA draft. It's like you see guys that get drafted. A guy gets drafted at 10, and all the analysts go, "Oh, what an overdraft! You could have gotten this guy at 25." Does it matter if the guy at 10 is good? Like, if the guy's good, does it matter if you draft him at 10 or at 25? Like, seriously, if the guy is good, then I don't care as much about the price. And so when I look at this trade, I look at Curtis Mead, and I like the player. So the price is second to me. If I didn't like the player, then I wouldn't be as happy about it. I mean, it all sucks because of the injury, but that's truly how I feel. The price is secondary.
I mean, I think what you're kind of touching on, I know Breslow said this, I think, in his press conference, that, like, you're not always going to win a trade to make your team better. Mm-hmm. I understand some of that. However, in this certain scenario, you subtracted from the major league team and added at the major league team. So, I mean, Mead's probably not going to play this year, so we'll never know. Mm-hmm. But, like, even by that analogy, you're still subtracting from something. I mean, again,
you're subtracting from a position of growth, of surplus.
But it's not at the moment. It's not a surplus because we don't know if we're even going to see Crochet the rest of the year. When I said I want this team to buy, I did not want them to do this stupid buy-sell thing that they keep doing, where they subtract from the major league team but also add from the major league team. Like, I get certain parts are like buy-sell are fine, like Bayo or Durant, if you could even get rid of those two guys, which I don't think is possible. But like when you're subtracting from what was really good about this team to add to the major league, like I wanted to buy, and when I first saw that notification hit my phone, my heart sank because I was getting excited. I'm like, oh my God, the Red Sox made a trade. We've been asking for major trades at the deadline for years. I just want a true buy. I don't like when you subtract from the major league team to add to the major league team. And we don't even get to see Curtis Mead anymore. I get like that. That's obviously the injury's unlucky. The injury's unlucky. But it's so annoying looking back at it because we've had so much pitcher injuries. We've seen Ranger Suarez hit the list multiple times. We haven't seen Crochet like at all this year. And having Connolly early would have been really nice for this playoff run.
Another small thing on the value is that the market is currently saturated with like young controllable pitchers. Like, I'm sorry, we love Conley early here, but there's mid-20s guys all over the league with a 3.5 ERA. Like, they just are. You know what there aren't is middle infielders with an 850 OPS that have 3.5 years of team control. So maybe if you just look at, their pure numbers, it looks like an overpay. But when you look at the positional value that is available around the league, again, I loved it when I heard that he was going to play second base, because if he can play an adequate second base, then this is a huge, huge get.
And so does this mean you give up on trying to look at this long term, because we're not going to see him the rest of the season, most likely. Mm-hmm. I don't believe the Red Sox doctors, whatever they say. I do not believe that. We're not seeing him the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. Long term, so you think, like, so Story's definitely done in Boston. Meyer's done in Boston. What do you do with Arias? Oh. Just assuming right now, because any of those guys could get traded at this deadline of Arias, Story, Meyer. What would your long-term outlook of this team be then? Are you giving up on a guy like Marcelo Meyer already? Are you completely done with Trevor Story and looking to DFA him because Curtis Mead's going to take the second base spot?
How can you not be so unbelievably down on Marcelo Meyer at this point? I mean, if we traded Marcelo Meyer for a bucket of baseballs, like, would anybody be that? Like, we'd be disappointed we didn't get top value for him when we could have. But is anybody really going to be mad that Marcelo Meyer is gone? Like, at this point, get pennies for the dollar. Like, I am out on Marcelo Meyer. I'm sorry. And it's half with how he swings the bat, and it's the other half of how he acts on the baseball field. and you don't notice it until a guy like Anthony Siegler takes his place. And you're like, oh, this is what an energetic guy that has passion for the game looks like. And we haven't seen that with Marcelo Meyer, even in the slightest. So, that's my plan. Get rid of Marcelo Meyer, send him to the moon.
I agree. I mean, his character is the biggest concern. I mean, he just doesn't look like he cares at all. I mean, and I didn't notice that at the time a little bit, but especially with Siegler coming up with even guys that aren't energetic, like Chang or even Jahmai Jones, who just want to be here, that they know that being up here is a privilege, and they're going to treat every day like it's their last. I mean, Marcelo Meyer just doesn't care. I mean, I don't think he cares about the organization, about the city, about the fans, about anything. I mean, yeah. And,
you know what he's worried about?
Oh, we know what he's worried about.
He's worried about blonde girls and his double chocolate chip chunk ice cream. That's what he's worried about.
And Cisco Brewery in Southie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, one bad attitude can have a terrible snowball effect on the rest, and I think we were seeing that play out. So I don't think it's a hot take right now that Meyer should be out of town. I mean, I actually hope there's a team that considers him solid value and will take him on come Monday.
You know someone's going to take him on and completely change him, and you see that with failed prospects all the time. Curtis Mead.
Marcelo Meyer is going to probably be an all-star shortstop for like the Baltimore Orioles or something.
No.
Like seriously, if Marcelo Meyer is ever an all-star shortstop in a big market on a winning team, I will eat my shoe. I will eat my shoe.
And it just sucks looking at it. It just sucks looking at it now because that first week of the season when he was actually one of the best hitters on the team and showing us that power, like, oh, this is what he was supposed to be. This is why we drafted him number 4 overall. And now we're already shipping him out of here. So it's a tough look. And we could have traded him and early for Ketel Marte this offseason, and Craig did not pull the trigger on that.
That would have been a hefty price, though. At that point,
at that point, yes,
yeah,
it would have. But then
right
you just
move,
traded Connolly early for Curtis Mead, and now Marcelo Meyer has no value.
And the Arizona Diamondbacks players hate Ketel Marte, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah, and wherever Meyer goes next, let's say the Pirates, the Reds, whatever, some small market team. No, okay, well, last
He'd be a
thing.
Pirates Hall of Famer.
Yeah, let's even if he's a 350 hitter or if he's a 170 hitter, I hope for the rest of his career, every time he comes to Fenway, he's booed. Like, whether he's at the top, whether he's at the bottom, because this era was just a mess with him. I've been waiting for so many years.
And we sucked in 2020, and it looks like for no reason, because that's who we got because of that. Like, that's the pick we got, and then you just look at it and you're like, damn, we wasted a season of tanking for fucking... fucking Marcelo Meyer that hasn't been able to do shit. It's not even like he tore up the minor leagues either. Like, people were saying he got called up too early and it was because of injuries. Like, he really... Like, I'm wondering what would have happened if we took more time to call him up, and maybe he would have looked a little different and stuff. But you can't really change the character in him. So that's tough. Like, he still probably would have been a bad character. But I'm wondering if his like on-field play would have been different if we waited, because everyone did say that we rushed him up to the majors because of the injuries that were happening in the major league team.
I completely agree. All right, there's one other aspect of this Conley Early and Curtis Mead trade that we have to address. Craig Breslow. Craig Breslow has some cojones. Craig Breslow has earned his name back. In my mind.
I don't know how I would go that far.
For those that follow the Fenway Faithful, you know our version 1.0 shirts. Thanks, Brez, you fucking stiff. Well, one more trade at this deadline, and I'm going to take like an iron to the bottom part and just leave it to say thanks, Brez. Because I love this type of aggressiveness. At the beginning of the Curtis Mead debate, you said that Craig Breslow can't read the market. I could not disagree anymore. I think he saw the writing on the wall. Prices are high. Right-handed hitters are not easy to come by. And he paid the price necessary for a guy.
So one trade is all of a sudden he could win. He could read the market. There's been so many other
not just one trade. No, not just one trade. The first trade. He set the market. I think that is damn bold to be able to do. He even admitted he called this trade, quote, incredibly uncomfortable. He knows that it's not an easy trade. Obviously he does. Conley Early's been dangled in trades for the last 2 years. So for him to make this trade, he knows that it's not going to be a slam dunk. He had mentioned, so after the trade and he had that press conference, Stevie alluded to this a couple of minutes ago. Here's the direct quote about Craig Breslow discussing his mindset in trades. He says, "A lot of front offices are looking at very similar information. So trying to find an opportunity to win a trade is not nearly as easy as it would have been at another point. Instead, in this position," this is my favorite part, "I've tried to shift our goal not to being the winner of the trade. Our goal is to make our major league team better." He's human! He's human, guys! Somebody took the batteries out of his battery pack. He's human. I love it. This is the kind of human speak that I've wanted from a general manager since Dave Dombrowski left. This is it. It's not about winning the trade. It's not about getting equal or better value. Did your team get better? And I viewed this trade as a make your team better type of trade. I loved the aggressiveness, and Craig Breslow coming out and saying that, admitting that. Oh my God, I'm one trade away from being a Craig Breslow lover.
I mean, I liked the aggressiveness. I liked making the trade before the deadline instead of, because you saw last year's deadline, he tried so many trades last second and was not able to read the market. That's what I said. Last year's deadline was a disaster. He did not read the market well at all, tried all these last second deals, and the best he got was Dustin May. This year, he jumped on it early.
I was having a good night.
He jumped on it early, tried to make the team better. So I guess I'll give him credit for that. He tried to make the team better, and then he gets injured. And I also kept saying, I think we've all been saying on the show for weeks that we wanted a controllable bat because the looming lockout, you kind of want people who are controllable pieces. You don't want a rental. You don't want anyone with even 2 years left because you never know, the lockout, all that. So I like it for those two standpoints. I'm not gonna. I need one more like big trade for me to be like I'm okay with Breslow because a lot of his I don't know how I'm always left with I don't know how to feel after most of his trades or completely pissed off. I mean the Devers trade completely pissed off. You look at the Durbin trade, I don't know yet because it's like both sides are doing good. So there's a lot of trades where I'm confused with Breslow. I liked the aggressiveness so far. I want him to keep being aggressive at this deadline and get one more piece before I can say that I'm not completely fuck Breslow.
Hold on. On the Durbin-Harrison trade, if a trade is win-win, then how can you not give him credit? Like, we're dealing from a position of strength, young left-handed pitchers, and we are getting a need, which is a right-handed controllable infielder. So yeah, you have to give something up to get something. It's a win-win. We still win. Like that credit is due for those kind of moves.
I was just saying I was confused because the beginning of the season it looked awful. Now it's looking better. I got to see the full season look of it. But you said that Breslow set the market by jumping on it early. Do you think he screwed himself over by overpaying so much? Because now, if he wants to make another trade, he's going to have to overpay again.
It all sucks because of the injury, and now he has to make another move. But I would so much rather set the market than just react.
I still think he should have made another move, even if Mead was healthy and that injury didn't happen. Like, obviously now he has to make a trade. Definitely needs to. But I still think even if Mead was healthy, he should have made another move. Yes, I get now he's going to have to overpay even more because now we're a lot more desperate.
Well, I don't think you're going to get a guy that's controllable and as highly touted as Curtis Mead was at this deadline. But Stevie's been awfully quiet. Stevie, talk.
On that note, we're going to jump to our next part.
No,
which,
no, whoa. Stevie.
Who we want to see them add.
CD, no, hold on. What are your thoughts on Craig Breslow? Don't you try to squeeze. Listen, he tried to wiggle out of that, Mike. You see that? He tried to get out of there without an answer.
I mean, yeah, Cobb just said he loves Craig Breslow, and you're going to let him get away with that?
No, I said I am one trade away from saying I'm a Craig Breslow lover.
Okay.
That's a whole lot. That's crazy because we have
One
been
trade away.
anti-Breslow. We've been anti-Breslow. I'm one trade away from being like, he's okay. I'm not on the I love you yet. He still traded Rafael Devers and has made some questionable decisions in his time here. I don't know if one trade does it unless he goes out and gets Bobby fucking Witt. That's the only way I will say I love Craig Breslow on this podcast.
Well, it's going to be tough to get Bobby Witt Jr., especially because they traded one of the key, who could have been a key asset in that trade, for Curtis Mead. So
We're trading Roman Anthony if we want Bobby Witt Jr. So, like,
I know that was an extreme example. I wasn't genuinely serious about that, but it was an extreme example.
In the bucket in that trade.
the one thing I think we do very well here is give credit when credit's due. And
It's a great Stevie G line. That's like an all-time Stevie G line.
Yeah.
Gotta give credit where credit's due.
We do give credit. We've been very fair
You
with that.
do. Nobody does it better than you, Stevie. Seriously.
Nobody does it like Stevie G.
Damn
but,
right.
That's the next shirt.
That's
Nobody does it like Stevie G, or give credit where credit's due.
No one does it like Stevie G.
what was I gonna say?
Craig Breslow,
Okay.
love him, hate him.
Yeah, what I will give credit to Breslow for is kind of what you guys touched on, that he's ambitious. He'll put himself out there. Like Bloom, I remember that was a common thing that was said about him, was he's just not tough enough. He's like kind of nervous. He's too slow. I mean, time will tell with this trade, but this was reassurance that Breslow will make a big move, even if he's going to face backlash from it, even if it's not going to be popular around town. Like, that is a characteristic that Bloom couldn't acquire here in multiple years. And Breslow has been relatively, confident with that in his time here. So I will give that credit when credit's due. I need to see the rest of the deadline because, as we learned from the previous, especially from last year, when we're waiting up until the buzzer an hour until the deadline and he forces what he believes to be a winning trade, that doesn't go over well. But
Stevie, that was a big non-answer. What do you need to see from Craig Breslow at the deadline?
I need to see a move that actually makes this team better, that doesn't add, unless it's
That was bold.
Unless it's Duran, but not an add and subtract. Like, I know it's old school, but trade 2 prospects for a guy who's to a team like
rental, controllable guy.
Right. I mean, if we add on the offense again, which is what I was going to morph into in the next segment, which you seem to cut me off for. If we add in the offense again, right now I do think it's going to be for a rental.
Okay.
Obviously, if some crazy name becomes available and it's within reason, do it. But now, I would
just in regards to Craig Breslow,
yes,
he makes one more trade at this deadline, and you're feeling good.
one actual move, not a Dustin May move.
Yep, Jahmai Jones doesn't count.
No, that doesn't count. But
No.
if we're in this caliber again, if it's a serious move, a guy that has competent stats, I will give him even more credit when credit's due.
Only when it's due, though. Only when
it's due.
Only when it's due. Stevie, I got to cut you off for the next segment.
Okay, cut me off.
We have a brand new segment that we are introducing here for episode 10 of the Fenway Faithful. We don't have a name for it yet, but we're just going to call it exactly what it is. These are 3 questions that have nothing to do with the Boston Red Sox. We had so many listeners say, they really want to get to know us better. So we are going to rapid fire a couple of questions. Every week, we're going to, hopefully, if you guys like it, we're going to rotate who asks the questions. I'm going to start it out this week. I'm going to kick it off with our very first question. Mike, give me your first answer. What is the best meal you've ever had in your life?
There was this.
For this one.
What'd you say?
He's got a lot of options for this one.
Yeah. That's crazy. There was this Brazilian steakhouse. Don't remember the name of it, but it was in the Cape. Me and my buddies went to it. Greatest food I've ever had. They were coming up to us every 2 minutes with a cut of Brazilian steak, and then you were able to go up to the buffet and get all the Brazilian. Oh my god, that was the greatest meal I've ever had.
Of course, it's a buffet.
Shut the fuck.
I had chicken.
You
heart
would have
one
loved
time.
it.
I had chicken heart one time at a Brazilian steakhouse. Did they serve you chicken heart?
No, didn't have any chicken heart.
No. Stevie?
First, when we suggested this topic off air a couple of days ago, just for everyone that's watching, I did not know what realm these questions were going to be in. I was really concerned when I heard about this because I didn't know the rating to these questions. I really didn't know what to expect coming into this. But the best that I've ever had, it's also steak, but it's from Florence that I had about 2 months ago. They like sizzle it in the back and then they bring it to your table and it warms up there. Fantastic. It's a Florence specialty, Tuscan specialty. Fantastic.
Nice. Well, hey, mine is on the same realm. Mine was a steak that I had in beautiful Las Vegas. I was out there for my 21st birthday with my dad and my uncle out there enjoying the city. I had a fantastic night at the roulette wheel, and I treated my dad and my uncle to a very nice steak dinner. And I ordered a filet mignon, and they seared it right in front of me, and got it rare, of course, and completely had, ran to the bathroom pretty quickly after that because the thing was damn near raw, but it was melt in your mouth. It was truly just unbelievable. Just love having a nice, big, warm piece of meat in my mouth. Next question. You have a golden ticket to see a concert. Who are you seeing? And this is including dead or alive. Mike.
I wanted to go with like the dead route because like I could technically, like if I wanted to, I could see anyone that was like alive. So I wanted to give myself a chance to see someone who was dead. Me and my family love this artist. Especially my mom, she loved this person growing up. You might not want to read the news. He's innocent. Michael
Jesus.
Jackson. It was Michael
Jesus.
Jackson. You just don't read the news, but he's innocent. He was proven innocent many times.
I don't know about that.
Great music. Has obviously was making music since he was like 5 years old. I brought my mom to see the Michael Jackson movie for her or for Mother's Day because she was such a big fan of Michael Jackson. She said she would have brought me to a concert if he didn't die. And I love his music. I think it's a bonding moment with my family because we all really like him. So if he was alive, I think that was the ticket I would go.
What'd you think of the movie, real quick?
I know people like didn't like it because they were like excluding a lot of other things. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a decent movie. I wasn't going to say it's the greatest movie in the world, but it is cool because Jafar Jackson sounds and looks just like him. It was kind of insane. I like how they kept it in the family, but like his moves are very Michael-like. He sounds just like him. It was insane.
Nice. Stevie?
I have a two-part answer. One, I will be seeing John Summit in Boston 2 days after my birthday this October. He's performing at the TD Garden on October 29th.
Who?
John Summit, DJ.
Should I know who the hell
You
that
know
is?
John Summit.
You make me shiver, and I feel it now. I wanna be where you are.
Oh, we're getting Stevie G singing on this episode.
Nice. Clip that, Mike.
So he is my favorite DJ, and it just works out. He'll be performing right down the street 2 days after my birthday. The other one, maybe this isn't like for an all-time thing, but in the summer, I don't even remember what month, the summer of 2019, I was invited by one of my friends to go to the Juice World concert.
Ooh.
And that was like when I was in high school. He was one of my favorite artists. For whatever reason, I did not go. Fast forward a couple months, I think we all know what happened. That was, I mean, I'm over it now, but for a while, that was one of my biggest regrets. That I don't remember what I was doing, but whatever I was doing, it was not worth it. I missed that by a couple of months, and he was my favorite artist at the time, and it took me a while to get over that because that was a big malpractice on my end.
That's a great answer. Back in high school, that was my favorite artist too. That would have been a great concert to go to.
I listened to a lot of Juice World, being Aiden Brown's roommate for 2
Yeah.
years. Shout out
Yeah.
Aiden Brown. My answer's a tough one. I had to write down two. I hate being wishy-washy. I had to do two. First one, I had to go the dead route as well because it almost feels wrong not to put somebody dead when you have a golden ticket opportunity like this. Mac Miller, number one, but it depends like what era of Mac Miller we're talking. Because obviously towards the end it was a little bit more sad. His type of music, I wouldn't really want to see that in concert. And then second choice is going to be Fleetwood Mac. I would just love to see everybody, that whole band back together. I've gone to see the Fleetwood Mac cover band a couple of times over the past couple of years. Big fan. So that would honestly, if I had to pick between the two, it'd probably be seeing Fleetwood Mac. That would be my golden ticket concert. All right, last question. A little bit more, kind of take this one wherever you want to go with it. What is one skill you wish you had?
I honestly didn't really know what my answer to this was going to be.
Because he has every skill.
And yeah, obviously. And then my buddy sent me a TikTok that I thought was funny. So I kind of based it off of this TikTok that I saw. Now, the TikTok was, in another life, like, me and the boys are 5+ ERA relievers in the bullpen when a fight breaks out on the mound.
I posted that.
And we ran. Oh, that's probably what I saw it from. I probably saw it from your repost. And they were all and it was just them like pretending to warm up and then running at full speed. So I would love to throw like 95 miles an hour just so I could be a 5+ reliever in a bullpen and then run like bloody hell all the way to the fucking mound to go break up a fight. I just thought that TikTok was funny. I actually do think I saw it was from your repost, but yeah, I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, that caught my attention. That was one of the better TikToks I've ever seen. I mean, right now, recency bias. I wish my finance skills were a little bit sharper. I mean, just getting unloaded with all this terminology, it's a lot. But I'd say, on a serious note, I don't know. Just I kind of gave it away in my last answer, but being a professional DJ, a professional singer, something like that, that seems like a pretty cool life. I mean, just going around, doing one concert, and getting people that hype, living a life, living a dream. I mean, that can't be that bad of a life.
I don't know. Maybe the record label will listen to this and hear your singing that you gave us. And
Yeah, Mike, let's make sure to get that out on all the socials, okay?
yeah,
ESPN won't give us a contract, but maybe a recording artist will.
yeah.
This is a tough one. I'm going to go with a logical answer. I wish that I could speak another language. Very applicable. You could travel more. Opens the door for a lot more jobs. I think like most of us, did you guys take a language in high school?
Yeah.
It got interrupted with COVID, but yeah.
I took 3 years of Spanish, and I remember, like, nothing. So, like, I'm a math-brained person, so learning a language just, like, does not register with me. So if I could just buy an SD card and put a different language in my brain, that would be my skill of choice.
Yeah, see, I could have gone logical or, like, helpful with my answer, but nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good answer, though. I mean, I took Spanish as well in high school, and even one semester in college, and I remember some things, but the basics. I don't remember much.
How much I hate learning a language is that I left Spanish early in high school, and I didn't have enough credits when I got into college, so I had to take not one but 2 semesters of Latin.
Oh,
Latin. I had to take a
That's
dead
crazy.
language.
yeah.
Oh, what an ugly language too! Like the alphabet's like
didn't even know
A B C. Ugh, it's like, ugh, it's like German,
Offered.
huh?
I didn't even know that was offered.
Yup.
I really didn't.
Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely. Incredibly painful time. I hated every second of it, without a doubt. I mean, I took some of the hardest math classes at UNH, and without a doubt, Latin was my most hated and most difficult.
Next Monday, many teams around the league will have brand new rosters, brand new names, and a whole different outlook for the remainder of the 2026 season. The Red Sox are right in the thick of it right now, already making the first of the serious trade deadline acquisitions when we talked about the addition of Curtis Mead in exchange for left-handed pitcher Connolly Early.
For 2
Now, this was a
at-bats.
big move, whether you love it or hate it, but there's still plenty more moves to come, hopefully from the Red Sox and, of course, around the league come Monday. Now, a lot we can dive into, but as you just heard us voice our pleasures or displeasures with the recent trade, what would make us individually happy come Monday? So simply, what are some names who we want to see the Red Sox add by Monday at 6 p.m. that we think will take this team to the promised land?
I mean, I'm all after a right-handed hitting power bat. I only want a guy on an expiring deal. I do not want to pay a big price. The name that is just such a perfect fit. He was in Boston the other day playing for the Baltimore Orioles. That is left fielder Taylor Ward. Bats right, throws right, 31 years old, professional hitter. Just my kind of build. Walks a lot, doesn't K a lot. He would eat up at Fenway. He would be an instant fan favorite. And hopefully I wouldn't have to watch Jarren Duran fumble around out there in left field anymore. Taylor Ward is not only a realistic, but he is kind of like the optimal guy in my opinion.
Do you think we'd have to overpay because it's in division? Give up Peyton Tolley for Taylor Ward?
He has 2 months of control. So
I wouldn't put it past Breslow, though.
I'm gonna keep saying I want the controllable pieces just because I kind of want to add for the future.
Bro wants the controllable pieces, but doesn't want to pay the controllable pieces price.
No, okay. I said I was not anti-trade early. I just didn't want the 1-for-1 swap. That was a little ridiculous.
Controllable pieces price.
So, I mean, 2 of the names that keep getting floated around that I'll quickly hit on, because I actually don't think it'll happen, is Zach Neto, C.J. Abrams. Would love for those 2. C.J. Abrams more. I mean, I'm willing to give up Arias for that. I think he's one of the only real guys that are getting floated around at this deadline that I'm willing to trade Arias for is for C.J. Abrams. He's not a free agent until 2029. 154 OPS plus, 27 homers, just an absolute masher. As a lefty, can use that green monster to his advantage. 932 OPS. Not a free agent until 2029. So he would be ideal. I know the Nationals are shopping him around, which honestly doesn't make sense because they're a really good team this year and one of the best offenses in baseball. So I know that's not going to happen. But he's like the one controllable piece that I'm like all in for, and I don't care who we give up to get that type of piece. But I did come with a rental. I want catchers because I'm not a big fan of Narvaez or Wong behind the plate. So expiring deal on the Minnesota Twins, Ryan Jeffers, 9 homers, 35 RBIs this year, hitting .294 with a .531 slug, 928 OPS, a 158 OPS plus. I think Jeffers would honestly be perfect. That's a right-handed power hitting catcher who is very solid defensively and is on an expiring deal. So you don't really have to worry about locking him up long term if you don't want it. Or honestly, you get him back for cheap. It's not like he's going to cost you that much if you did want to re-sign him for the upcoming years, because our catcher position doesn't look very promising for the next couple of years. I mean, you have Wong and Narvaez, who are like both backup catchers in my eyes. So I think Ryan Jeffers. Another name I put down was Ivan Herrera, because he loves trading with the St. Louis Cardinals. It's another catcher, power-hitting catcher.
Or is he DHing?
He's probably DHing right now, because that team has Jimmy Crooks and Pedro Pajes, and have multiple other catching catching prospects down in that system. So I wrote it down because they have a surplus of catchers. We like trading with the Cardinals. So that was just another name to kind of throw out there. I don't know. I mean, he's not the best defensive catcher, but honestly better than Narvaez. So
Yeah, to tag on catchers a little bit, generally, I'm not the biggest fan of adding a catcher in the middle of the season just because you don't know how it's going to play out with your starting pitching. We've had so much success from the pitchers this year, and even if we insert a catcher who's, even if it's a Goodman or a Langoliers before he got hurt, like, yes, the offense could be much better, but the defense, do you really want to be playing around with that? So I'm always a little, like, that's never, like, my primary place I'd want to upgrade in the middle of the year, but obviously getting Goodman, that would be huge. If we do go the route of a catcher, though, I know this is unlikely because of in-division, but I do think Adley Rutschman just makes a lot of sense. I mean, he's a strong defensive catcher, yeah. You can get the pat for that.
Thank you.
I just overall, I know he's kind of been up and down with Baltimore, but I really think he has what it takes to be in a big market. I mean, I think he's a big market player. We talk way too much, I mean, deservingly so, about players that can't handle big markets. It's just a gut feeling I have that I think deep down he really is a big market player, and I think would make too much sense here. Now, more realistically, if going the route of infield, because of the Mead injury, if we add an infielder, I think it only makes sense to add a rental, someone who's going to be here the remainder of the year, either hit free agency or get rid of them in the offseason. I know I've brought up these names multiple times, but Luis Ariz from the Giants, and I mean, who knows what direction this team's going in, but Gleyber Torres from the Detroit Tigers. I mean, both of them, definition of a rental, they'll be here the rest of the year. Yeah, it's not the most exciting upgrade in the world, but I mean, it's going to be something, especially with Mead down now. So that's a route I could see them taking. And one last name, also a rental. They'd have to get really creative with Jarren Duran. I don't see this happening. But a guy who I think is going to be on the cheaper side, and for, his talent is...
Willie Castro.
Yeah, Willie Castro is Angels outfielder Joe Adell. He's hitting .240 with 16 home runs, so respectable. He's only on the books for this year. I wouldn't assume his ask is that high, so I mean, he would be an upgrade over Duran. That's more of a route, like, I think he'd be a cheap ad. Like, I don't think the Angels would ask for something crazy for that, but I don't know how they're going to handle Duran with this deadline.
I have a question to pose to the panel.
Mm-hmm.
How would you guys feel if on August 3rd, our trade deadline acquisition was calling up Franklin Arias?
No. I would be pissed. I get he is one of the best prospects to come through our system, it seems like, in a couple of years. But I need a guy that has some MLB experience that can help win us some playoff games. I don't know if Franklin Arias is going to do that. And I'm just so used to these top-tier prospects getting called up and just absolutely stinking. We've seen it with Meyer and Anthony. And
Anthony was
Christian
great
Campbell.
last year. Anthony was great last year.
And Christian Campbell. I don't know. I wouldn't be
We would all
mad
be
if it
fired
hap-
up. We would all be fired up.
I would be happy it happened, but if that's the only thing we do and that's like our trade deadline, then I'm going to be mad. I want something else. I can't have that.
The front office has talked this way for years. I mean, back in 2021, they said, "Oh, sales coming back." I mean, they do this every year with like that they think that they can trick the fans by saying we're just going to add by what we have. Like, well, Anthony and Meyer are coming up. Well, sales coming back. Well, all these great guys are coming back. These aren't trade deadline moves. I mean, they could have called him up last week. They could call him up in 2.5 weeks. That's not a trade deadline move.
Now, Craig Breslow would not earn my loyalty with a move like that. But oh my god, I would love that.
So are you? I think I know your answer, Cobb. So are you like anti-trade Franklin Arias at this deadline?
Yep.
You don't want for any name
outside of Bobby Witt.
Even like a CJ Abrams if he became available.
I mean, CJ Abrams is having a career year, probably going to be top 3 in MVP. You said he's a free agent in 2029, which sounds great, but what that really means is he has only 2 more full years of control. And what 2 more years of full control means is that, yeah, he plays 1 more year, and then he's playing in a contract year, or you're giving him that massive extension. For a guy that has had some character and some focus issues, not sure how well he would fare in Boston. It's a sexy pick right now because the guy's the best hitter in baseball over the last month, but I feel like I'm in the minority with being kind of out on C.J. Abrams, just for the price. So obviously, if you want to give him to me, I'll take him. But
there was a report out there, forgot what it... Oh, sorry.
What about for his teammate, James Wood?
You have to do it for James Wood.
Oh, that's a tough one.
But James Wood, I don't think James Wood's available. C.J. Abrams has been floated around for the longest time. So that's the only reason why I asked for C.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to trade either of them.
Have you seen James Wood's hit chart? James Wood's hit chart? He has more home runs to left field than to either center or right. He would mash at Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Levels that we've never seen before.
So there's a report coming out that, I don't know how true it is, that like most teams this trade deadline are asking for, this was before Early got traded, for like if they wanted a big trade, Arias, Tolley, Early, and like Witherspoon or Jansen. That's way too much.
Quickly. You always put Witherspoon and Ianson on the same level. They are not. They are not.
I know
like
you
guys
think that. I know
put
you
Kyson Witherspoon. He's a 4.5 ERA and he can't get lefties out. Like this guy is right now projecting like a middle reliever.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it seems like that's what teams are asking for as a package from the Boston Red Sox for some of these high controllable guys. Mm-hmm. So, are you guys completely out on getting a controllable piece? Are you all in on rentals? Obviously, it's not just for this package. Like it depends on the package. You're completely out on trading Arias, but are all the other guys off the table?
For me, Arias and Ianson are off the table, unless we're getting into the Abrams, Wood, Witt, Alvarez. I mean, which I don't see happening. But
I agree with Stevie. Outside of the Abrams name, I would trade Tolley. I would trade Bennett. There's a lot of names that I would trade, but honestly, Arias and Ianson are untouchable outside of that tier of player.
I'd also throw maybe Gonzalez as untouchable. I really don't want to see him go.
Romy Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Would Justin Gonzalez my favorite prospect?
Oh my God.
I don't want to see him go.
I love that take. So there's been a ton of names getting floated around to the Red Sox recently. There was a recent report of Francisco Lindor and Clay Holmes in a potential package. There's been Hunter Goodman talk. There's been Jeremy Pena talk. Obviously, Abrams and Neto. Otto Lopez is the most recent one of the Miami Marlins. I know you want Xavier Edwards, but maybe getting the other one, Otto Lopez. But just trying to think, what are some of the biggest names you guys think are going to get traded this deadline? Doesn't have to be to us, obviously. Just biggest names you think are going to get traded at this year's deadline.
I think Neto's 100% going to get traded. There's no way. I'd assume. And Lindor has to be traded. I don't know how the Mets can.
Do you have a
Go.
team?
Has to.
Do you have a team that you think Lindor is getting traded to? Is it Boston?
If the ask is,
There's no way Lindor gets traded. There's no way.
oh, he has to be. That team needs.
Why
a pick.
has to? Why has to? He's been hitting
That team
great
needs a
over the last
whole
couple of weeks.
Reset. Yeah, but you saw how he was. You saw his stats when we were at Citi Field. He was hitting like 212.
He was hurt.
It also could be like him and Soto not really being the greatest of teammates to each other, and maybe they just decide to stick with the Soto route, and you have to get rid of Lindor. There could be another reason for that.
Going. Honestly, the Astros.
I like that. I like that one, Stevie.
Yeah,
Because was it last year or 2 years ago when they got Correa back?
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
I think it was last
I
year,
don't know.
wasn't it?
Last year.
Last year, yeah. I don't know. They make
They always make some sneaky big trades.
they
That's
do
true.
like Verlander a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The Detroit Tigers are about to have a complete and total fire sale. Like, complete and utter fire sale.
So Scooble's gone.
It would be total malpractice for them not to. Like a complete and total joke if they don't. What are they, 5 games under 500?
Yeah.
So took a look at their roster. There's 2 guys that aren't getting traded. That's Riley Green and Kevin McGonigal. Everybody else is going. And the names that have to go, not just are being shopped, have to go. Scooble. Mize, Casey Mize, former number 1 overall pick. Kenley Jansen and Gleyber Torres.
Yep.
4
I
guys
agree.
that have to go.
Fully agree.
They are about to have a fire sale. Potentially one of those guys could have Javier Baez's 1.5 remaining contract tagged along. But in my opinion, on August 4th, the Detroit Tigers are going to look completely different. I can't imagine there's a world where they don't.
It was funny because Scooble today pitched, and it was potentially his last one in a Tiger uniform. They had a 7-0 lead when he exited the game. Blew the game. Blew it. They blew it. And that just summarizes Detroit Tigers baseball. They need to trade Scooble, and I'm afraid to say it, but I honestly think the one team that can put up a package for him is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Having Jose De Paula and Zaire Hope as 2 elite outfield prospects, and you could probably add someone on your major league team just to make the money work, whatever. I don't know how that would work. Maybe like a Roki Sasaki gets involved in that because you have to give up a ton for Scooble, and I honestly think the only team that can do it is the Dodgers because they have the elite major league talent if they want a major league player back, and they also have the elite farm system. Like, they have such a great farm system down there in LA, even with the great major league squad. Like, I honestly think that's the only team that can do it and can afford his contract extension because wherever he goes, he's going to want to get extended.
No, he's going to free agency. At this point, he's not going somewhere to re-sign.
But the Dodgers can't afford it if they want to give if they
That's
want to
fair.
give him the money.
That's fair.
Not only would that be a problematic for obvious reasons that I won't get into, what will that do to the incoming lockout that is only what feels like, it's going to be months away. Just to make an awful situation a million times. That's what I worry most. Scooble, if they get Scooble, it is what it is. They've gotten Tucker, they've gotten Yamamoto, they've gotten all these guys, but I don't want to make. There's no way to make the situation better right now with the looming lockout, but that's going to make it worse big time.
I'm wondering if they add a salary cap, what the Dodgers do, because they're obviously going to be way over the salary cap. Like what does that team do? All of a sudden you have to trade Kyle Tucker, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. Like, you're going to have to trade all of those guys. It's going to be crazy if that ever happens. Mason Miller, I think, is a guy that could potentially get traded. I know they've kind of been shopping that name around.
So
I'm scared the Yankees might be in on him, and that terrifies me.
If the Padres trade Mason Miller, I feel like they have to trade a whole bunch other players. I don't think you can just trade Mason Miller.
Yeah, it's just
I mean,
like that
unless
that
it was-
ownership thing is a mess. Like them regretting some of the contracts they've given out, Xander Bogaerts, not wanting to continue to pay these guys. I think San Diego's just a mess. They're a good team, but like front office, everything like that, it's just kind of a mess out there. I think Mason Miller gets traded again, and I'm afraid it might be the Yankees. And I really don't want because they're also in on C.J. Abrams. I quote tweeted something the other day when it's like, what is this bag of chip offer George Lombard and Volpe for C.J. Abrams? Like, are Yankee fans that delusional? They think that's gonna get you C.J. Abrams? It's unbelievable.
Mike, I think he might have fell for some bait with that tweet, to be honest.
I don't know, sleeper Yankees. I guess I shouldn't trust sleeper.
Yeah. Getting engagement from Red Sox podcast.
There are a bunch of fucking studs on this baseball team. So we got 3 that I'm going to list out here for y'all at home. Number 1 stud, because there was a ton of them. This team was on a 15-game win streak. There's a lot of people to choose from. This is probably the most difficult stud choosing we've had so far in this show's history. But my number 1 is going to be Ceddanne Rafaela. He has been absolutely on fire, breakout season this year since our last recording, hitting .260 with a .500 slugging percentage and a .760 OPS. 3 homers, 1 grand slam in Game 1 of the Athletic Series, and 11 runs batted in. He has been absolutely fantastic, and obviously always bringing the elite defense in center field. So he's been fantastic this season and been fantastic during this win streak in the last couple weeks. Stud number 2, he's been given this multiple. He's probably the biggest stud on this team. He's probably won this multiple times. It's going to be Wilson Contreras. Since last recording, hitting .281 with a .477 on base, .531 slug, and a 1,000 OPS. 2 homers, 5 RBIs, multiple clutch home runs during that stretch that were either tie the game or give us the lead. Multiple wall ball doubles as well in that Baltimore and Tampa series. He has been even better than any of us could have ever imagined that he could have given us this year. Now, my third dud, I was having a very difficult time finding a third stud for the week. And I'm going to give it to Caleb fucking Durbin. We bring it up all the time that he was terrible to start the year. He's completely turned around, and honestly, his turnaround is the reason this team's turned around. He's hitting .302 with a .757 OPS, had that 1 clutch home run in the Baltimore series and 5 runs batted in. He's also given elite defense over there at the hot corner. He's been great. I had a couple of guys that I was teetering on. Andrew Monasterio, 9 of his last 30, with 5 of those 9 hits being doubles and an 1,050 OPS. And then Willie Abreu, I was also debating because of his 4 home runs, most of those being in the Tampa series, but he's hitting like 171 in that stretch. So it's hard to give him a stud when he's hitting 171, but honorable mention because of all the clutch home runs he hit in that series.
Yep. On the flip side, now there weren't a lot of duds to choose from, of course, but there were a couple that did stand out. Peyton Tolley. This one is a little bit concerning. So in his last 2 starts since we have recorded, he's had 11 innings pitched with 6 earned runs. That's good for a 4.9 ERA. He has 3 home runs allowed in those 2 starts. Now at this point, he is at 110 innings pitched this season between AAA and the majors. This is now the most innings pitched he has ever had, probably since high school. I went back, I found the numbers. Last year, he pitched 108 innings. 2024 at TCU, 81 innings. 2023 at Wichita State, 85 innings. In 2022, Wichita State and between summer ball, he had 96 innings. He's at 110, and we still have 2 more months of regular season baseball. We could have 2.5, 3 more months total. I don't know what's going to happen, but we need to keep an eye on Peyton Tolley, see if he can make it towards the end of the season and make sure he doesn't break down. My second dud, kind of the antithesis of Wilson Contreras, where Wilson Contreras wins the stud every week. Carlos Narvaez is our dud pretty much every week, and he's just too easy to pick on at this point. Out of the All-Star break, the first game out of the All-Star break, we beat the brakes off the Tampa Bay Rays. I think it was 10-0, and Narvaez went 3 for 4. And I was like, man, if he can turn it around, that would be fantastic. You know, you get you remember how he was in the first half last season, and he was literally hitting 4-5 hole. He really kept us afloat last season. His bat did. Well, since that 3 for 4 game and that 10-0 win against the Rays, he has gone 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts. You say 0 for 6? What is he? He's not playing? It's gotten to the point where Chad Tracy doesn't let him hit. In 3 out of the last 4 games that he has started, he has been removed late in the game for a pinch hitter. Like Stevie was talking about early in the episode about the importance of a catcher with their pitching staff, taking out your starting catcher midway through a game who has the feel of not only the active pitcher, but also a feel for the opposing lineup, that's not really something that happens often, and it is now becoming an every game occurrence when Carlos Narvaez starts. His defense has not been there either. He was traded over here, supposed to be an arm-first guy, an absolute cannon, and that's kind of the first impression that we got from him, and a lot of people in this city fell in love with him. Something happened to him. He's lost it. He's lost it. In 58 games this year, and in 40 stolen base attempts, runners have successfully stolen 33 bases on him. That is an 82.5% clip. Contrast that with 2025. Runners were only successful stealing against him 70% of the time. His pop time in 2025 was 11th in all of baseball at 1.92. It now sits at 1.98. He's 47th in all of baseball. You are getting nothing from Carlos Narvaez on either side of the ball, and it's starting to look like Chad Tracy is accepting that. What that means for him at the deadline, I don't know. I don't know if there's an underlying injury. He has not looked like the same guy since this time last year when he hurt his knee. So Carlos Narvaez has gone from a small concern to a major concern. He is a net negative at this point. Finally, Romy Gonzalez. Romy Gonzalez, he's just looked really brutal at the plate. He's kind of why we needed a guy like Curtis Mead. If Romy Gonzalez was giving you a 700 OPS, playing an adequate second base, I really don't think you would need to have made a Curtis Mead trade. Don't get me wrong, Curtis Mead is a clear tier above Romy Gonzalez, but Romy has just been completely useless. He returned from injury at the end of June. That's a month ago. We're over the babying him back from the injury. He is still not there. As a matter of fact, he's gotten worse. He is 3 for his last 21 with 6 strikeouts. And he was batting second yesterday and did not even put up competitive at-bats against a lefty. You remember last year he was an absolute lefty masher next to Rob Refsnyder. His bread and butter hitting lefties, he can't even do that at this point. You're getting a net negative from Romy Gonzalez on both sides of the field. He's never been a plus defender either. So some serious concern with Romy, Carlos Narvaez, and then Peyton Tolley needs to be very closely monitored. Any thoughts? Which of those 3 concern you guys the most?
I mean, if Tolley continues, that would obviously concern me the most. But Narvaez just, I don't think he's part of the future of this team, even as a backup.
Yeah, so. I've stopped thinking about Carlos Narvaez. Like, he's kind of just like, whatever, Carlos Narvaez. I'm way more concerned over Peyton Tolley. Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
You're not concerned that Romy Gonzalez is going to need to play a key role in this team if we don't trade for another right-handed bat. That's honestly the one that concerns me most, because we can work around Tolley. Tolley's on the mound once every 5 days, and Narvaez, he's a catcher. You put Wong back there that can slap a single. Romy Gonzalez, we kind of depend on now.
Yeah, because with Tolley, I mean, you kind of saw it at the end of the first half where they kind of took him out early and used the bullpen the rest of the game. You could keep doing that maybe to lower his innings, or we have so much depth that you could call someone up for a day and kind of maybe skip a start for Tolley. As you get him along the season, you have Patrick Sandoval, you have Brian Bay, you have guys like that, or Eduardo Rivera. But yeah, you're right. Romy Gonzalez, you can't really hide him. He's the right-handed bat. You need him in the lineup, and everyone was using the excuse of him not having spring training, but I think we're a little past that point now because he didn't have the spring training at bats, and then he barely had a rehab stint. Like, he played a couple games down at AA, AAA, or whatever, and so now we're kind of past that point. He still just looks late on everything. He still just does not look ready at all. I have a question for you guys, because I kind of brought up Willie Abreu as a potential stud, but he was hitting 170. Are you guys concerned at his splits now? Because it's starting to concern me a little. So 347 versus lefties, but 209 versus righties. You're facing righties majority of the season, unless you're playing the Boston Red Sox, who have all these lefties. He's hitting horribly against righties. A 651 OPS against righties compared to a 999 against lefties. It's like unbelievable the difference. Are you guys starting to get concerned that he now all of a sudden forgot how to hit against right-handed pitchers?
How can you not? How can you not? I mean, I've been on the record. I'm far from the biggest Willie Abreu fan. But how can you not be concerned? I mean, it's scary. It's scary. I love seeing teams like the Athletics on, I think, Monday night bringing a lefty to face him, and he's probably salivating at that. It's like, how do you not know those splits? You're a major league manager and you don't know that? Like,
Yeah.
just blind lefty splits. But anyways, big concern, especially because he's your cleanup hitter. How can you not be?
And it's funny, I mean, you bring it up all the time, Cobb. It's the anti-Alex Cora. Like, he refused to hit him against lefties because he hated, like, he loved platooning those guys and hated the lefty-lefty matchup, and now all he can do is hit lefties.
As we conclude episode 10, we'll end off with everybody's favorite segment, the Jordan Hicks Award. By now, you should all be familiar by what this award represents, but we give this bi-weekly award to someone who we believe best encompasses the traits that Jordan Hicks put on us at the end of last season. So, Cobb, who is your honorable recipient of the Jordan Hicks Award?
Oh,
LeBron. I don't even want to say
I
anymore.
love that one.
LeBron James.
I love that.
Mike.
I just wanted to give an update on Jordan Hicks' stats, by the way. He has a 3.3 ERA this year. So we might need to change this to the Bill Chisholm Award.
It's about what he did. It's about what he did to us.
Okay.
To us.
Well, my Jordan Hicks Award is going to be the Red Sox training staff. Like, time after time, I think they've won this award before. I think someone's given it to the training staff. But time after time, they, like, tell us there's an injury, and then it's completely wrong. So we have the Roman Anthony, like, oh, Max, you'll be on his 10-day IL. We have not seen him almost all season. Then they said Crochet, Max will be the 15-day IL. Have not seen him since the beginning of the season. We thought that Meyer and IKF were going to be 10-day IL stints. We have not seen them yet. And then when Curtis Mead got hit in the wrist, they said it was only a contusion and it would be a day-to-day injury and it would be completely fine. And then not even 24 hours later, they say he has a broken wrist. And now they're saying 8 to 10 weeks, which I do not believe for a second. I think he is done. So, I mean, time after time again, they are telling us completely wrong information. I don't get how you could be in a profession like this and just get it wrong every time. Like, if you went into your job, Stevie, in finance or whatever, and just you were wrong every single fucking time, you do not deserve that job anymore. I think they should fire all of the medical staff of the Boston Red Sox. How are you not able to just get that, like, look at an x-ray and be like, yeah, it's fine, but in reality it's actually a broken wrist? Like, how do you fuck that up that bad?
I would actually put that more on the Red Sox PR team. Like, because,
That's why.
yeah, with the Curtis Mead injury, the X-ray they said came back clear, and they discovered the fracture on the MRI. So, like, why even put anything out there until you've done all of the testing? Like, that's who I put the blame on.
Someone needs to be blamed for this, because it's happened with every injury this year. I don't think we've had a normal injury news break whatsoever.
I don't know why we can't just, like, live in reality with these injuries. I don't know why they have to, like, put on, like, rosy glasses for us and, like, spoon feed us like we're children. Like, just give it, like, if you don't know, then don't say anything. Like, don't just try to lie to us.
Yep.
My recipient goes to not a person, but kind of a person. It goes to a place, but the overlying idea is because of a person, and that is to the Sacramento Stadium that the A's are currently playing in.
It's not really a person.
Well, a person decided that was acceptable, which it is not. I mean, that is just an absolute joke. I mean, there's probably a strong amount of minor league stadiums, even college stadiums, that are better than that. I mean, a Major League Baseball team should not be playing in a stadium like that.
Worcester.
I know it's a transition thing, but I don't know. Maybe they should have built a new stadium first before leaving an old stadium. Like the Bills' new stadium this year. Like, imagine 3 years ago they just knocked down that stadium and wanted to play their home games in, I don't know, Alabama or something. It's like,
No, I think it's different when you're like actually leaving the market as opposed to just building a new stadium. Like, I don't think they could still be playing in Oakland. Like, there would be people would take those games as a joke. There'd be riots at the games. Like, once that move becomes official, I don't think you can stay in the old city and break ground in a new one.
yeah, but well, okay. My bottom line is that stadium is not suitable for a Major League.
I agree with you on that.
That's
That stadium's a joke.
It
Complete
is.
and
I
total
mean,
joke.
imagine you get called up, or not even just called up. If you're young, like, you don't want to play. You get a career in that place.
Yeah, I remember they called up Connolly early, and his first start was in Sacramento, and it's like it didn't feel any different because it was also in a minor league ballpark. Like,
Yeah.
and you're facing the Athletics, who are like a borderline minor league ball club. But some great Jordan Hicks awards. Thank you all for listening. It is 9:00. And the Red Sox game still hasn't started. I hate this West Coast road trip. The game doesn't start for another 30 minutes. So, we get some late-night baseball with the Athletics and the Dodgers. But thank you all for listening to this week's episode. We're kind of in the time frame when baseball is kind of the only thing you have sports-wise to watch. Yeah, you have football coming up soon. It's training camp. But for actual games, there's no NHL, no NBA. The World Cup is over. College sports are over. All you got is baseball. So turn on a Red Sox game. Get hyped up. They went on a crazy run. We're now in... The playoffs are in sight. So turn on a Red Sox game and keep listening to us. Keep following and paying attention to the socials. Thank you for watching.
Let's go. We love to hear it. Great episode, fellas. Love the Fenway Faithful. Follow us on all the socials. Let's have a fantastic night. Go Sox, baby. Go Sox.
Woo!